Hi everybody. My apologies for the delayed videos and my few days absence. I had the opportunity to visit St. Jacob's and the St. Jacob's Market and had a great time talking to some great people, authors, veterans and artists. Just my kind of people. And I really wish to thank the people of St. Jacob's for their friendliness. From there, I visited Fergus and absolutely loved it. I think it's the little bit of Scottish in me that adores the place and the people. Okay, so now I'm back home, or at least my home for the next 2 months still. And although I kept up with the news, this is the first opportunity I have to sit down and share my thoughts with you all. But where do we start? It is a little late in the day to go through everything that has happened over the last few days, point by point. But I think we all agree that the drama now on both sides of the pond is heating up. And somehow, I think this is just the beginning and that it will get worse before it will end. And how it will end, I do not know. We had Meghan talking on economic parity with the likes of Melody Hobson, and I've already dissected that whole thing for you. We had her writing that letter, campaigning to get paid family leave for American citizens. But not only did she write to Nancy Pelosi and Charles Schumer, but she also cold called senators, including Senator Shelley Moore Capito. Then, then both Meghan and Harry and the Director General of the World Health Organization wrote an open letter urging G20 leaders to ensure vaccine supplies to all nations. And then we saw her and Harry appear at the Intrepid Museum to honor United States veterans, and we'll chat about that in a minute. There is, however, one common thread in all of this, and that is that during, at, before, and after all these events, and in all these letters and calls, Meghan refers to herself and introduces herself as the Duchess of Sussex. Now, first and foremost, this is not the done thing for royals. It is actually against protocol. I can pull up video after video for you where Catherine and William introduce themselves, and you will hear them introducing themselves as Catherine and William. They always introduce themselves by their first names. The same applies when they sign letters. Even the Queen signs her letters Elizabeth R. The R being for Regina, which actually means queen in Latin. Catherine signs her letters simply as Catherine, or William as William, and even Prince Charles signs his letters simply as Charles. In short, royals sign their first names, and that is it. And in private and informal correspondence, the Queen had even been known to sign off as Lilibet, and Catherine to sign off with just an elaborate C. For the real royals, it is only in highly official documents and letters where they will sign off with the official titles. And why is this? Well, for many reasons. Firstly, the simplest one ever, they write on official stationery, and hence there's no reason for them to repeat the titles when signing off the letter. Meghan, on the other hand, writes on stationery printed as the office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and then still signs off as Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. It is what one would call pretentious and overkill. Another reason why royals do not sign with their full titles is because those receiving correspondence from them will most likely know who they are. Christmas cards even have their photographs on the front. So why the heck push their titles down everybody's throat? It is not done by the true royals and has never been done and will never be done. No matter how pretentious some of them may be behind closed doors, it is not the done thing to appear so in public. Something Meghan obviously does not care about. Now, in an Express article, Pauline McLaren, who is a professor of marketing and consumer research and who calls herself a royal expert, says the usage of peerage comes from Meghan's pride regarding her royal family achievements. Now, if there's something that ticks me off, it is when someone calls themselves experts and then goes on to make simple, ignorant mistakes. I know I've explained this before in one of my older videos, but let's do it again just very quickly. Among British titles are two main categories: the nobility, which includes titles like Duke, Marquis, Earl, or Baron, and some of these titles are inherited and others are courtesy titles. In the UK, a royal duke is a member of the British royal family and entitled to the style of HRH, His or Her Royal Highness. Ducal titles given within the royal family are the Duke of Cornwall, Duke of Lancaster, Duke of Clarence, Duke of York, Duke of Gloucester, Duke of Bedford, Duke of Cumberland, Duke of Cambridge, Duke of Rothesay, Duke of Albany, Duke of Ross, Duke of Edinburgh, Duke of Kent, Duke of Sussex, Duke of Connaught and Strathern, and of course the Duke of Windsor. However, only two of these dukedoms hold duchies, and those are the Duchy of Cornwall, which is Charles's, and the Duchy of Lancaster, which belongs to the Queen. The other dukedoms are thus honorary or gifted titles with no authority and without an estate or land attached to it. In the UK, there are, however, dukes who are not royalty, like the Duke of Atholl, the Duke of Beaufort, the Duke of Devonshire, the Duke of Norfolk, and many more. And these are inherited titles, titles passed down in the family. For example, the current Duke of Beaufort is Henry John Fitzroy Somerset, the 12th Duke of Beaufort. Currently, of over 800 inherited ducal titles in the UK, there are currently only 24 non-royal dukes in existence or in use. The only power a hereditary duke has is the right to stand for election to the House of Lords. Currently, the inherited peers comprise 11% of the House of Lords. Being a royal duke, however, is only a matter of rank and honours and does not award them any additional power except for the two who holds or has duchies attached, namely, once again, Cornwall and Lancaster, held by the Queen and Charles. What I'm telling you all in this roundabout way is that being the Duke of Sussex did not give Harry any additional power. Nothing. It was purely a gift from Her Majesty the Queen, a wedding gift to top it all. And all it meant was that it sounded good, and a prince with a dukedom is of higher rank than one without. But because Charles only had two sons and there are no twins or four others in line for rank and prestige, even that does not mean much. And now for the clincher, and I hope Meghan Markle is listening. Even in modern times, it is still a fact that a ducal title in most cases must be passed down through male heirs. Even in the few instances where it was allowed for a female to continue the peerage, there will be pressure on her to produce a male heir. In most cases where there is no male heir, the title will be put in abeyance or discontinued. In Harry and Meghan's case, Harry has an honorary gifted title, and the only reason Meghan can be called a duchess is because she married a duke. She herself holds no titles in her private capacity. What she is currently using to so freely promote herself is a courtesy title and not a substantive title at all. To further show how ignorant Meghan is of her title, she continues to call herself Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, which is actually the courtesy title she will be entitled to use should she or Harry divorce. As they are still married, she should be titled Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, or whatever she chooses to call herself, or simply Duchess Meghan, like Duchess Catherine, but title first while married and name first after divorce. However, that is not why we are here today, and let's get back on track. Firstly, Harry is the title holder, and should they divorce or he should pass away while he is still the Duke of Sussex, Meghan will keep her title forever or until she dies or remarries. Now, everyone is quite aware of this, and it is said that one of the reasons why so many of these women do not remarry is to keep their titles, as their titles often mean more to them in their professional life or social standing than getting remarried. Okay. The only other way Meghan Markle can lose her title as Duchess is for Harry to lose his ducal title, or for Harry's ducal title to be put in abeyance. Now, we have often spoken about the reasons why we think Harry's title should be stripped or put in abeyance. And those of you who follow me, Paula M., Yankee Wally, Murky Meg, Kelp, Lady C, P. Dina, Pauline Just Living, and others will already be well versed in our opinions. But, my dear friends, it is not our opinions which really matters, is it? What matters is the law, the history, and historical agreements, etc., etc. And where we, in the past, only had to concern ourselves with one country, namely the United Kingdom's laws and rules, we now have to consider the laws and constitution of two countries. The American Revolutionary War, or the War for Independence from Britain, started in April 1775 and lasted until September 1783. So we're talking about 8 years and 4 months. In those 8 years and 4 months, an estimated 6,800 Americans were killed in action, 6,100 wounded, upwards of 20,000 were taken prisoner, an additional 17,000 deaths were the result of disease, and it is said that 8,000 to 12,000 Americans died while being held as prisoners of war. Now, my friends, that was the cost the American people had to pay for their independence from Britain. In June or July of 1776, the Declaration of Independence was drafted and finally signed by 56 delegates to the Second Continental Congress. So, okay, now I've spoken about this before, so just keep those basics in mind. And now, in a monarchy, a king or queen is head of state. However, the British monarchy is a constitutional monarchy. And this means that while the queen is head of state, the ability to make and pass legislation resides with an elected parliament. The sovereign thus no longer has a political or executive role. In a constitutional monarchy, the monarch's political power, if any, should be limited and would be mostly ceremonial. The rights of a constitutional monarch are condensed into the following words of Walter Bagehot: the right to be consulted, the right to encourage, and the right to warn. Of course, the Queen and other senior royals have political views. They are human after all. But as head of state, the Queen in particular has to remain strictly neutral with respect to political matters and keeps or should keep her political views private, as firstly, it may be unconstitutional for her to make certain of her political views known. The second reason is simple. The royal family's position requires the support of parliamentarians on either side of the political divide, as to support one party will definitely lead to trouble later. As someone so quite aptly said, political leaders and parties come and go, but the monarchy remains. The third reason is equally simple, and this was explained or mentioned by the Queen herself, namely that the Queen and the royal family represents all their subjects, regardless of gender, regardless of religion, regardless of skin color, regardless of political affiliation, even those in jail who are British subjects. Okay, guys, so now two things should stand out to you. Firstly, the United States fought for and paid dearly for its independence from Britain. Secondly, British royalty is constitutionally, morally, and ethically bound not to interfere in politics, not in their own, and very definitely not in United States politics. However, here we have Harry and Meghan acting as if they are conducting a royal tour when they visited New York, even to the point where they were given state-funded security. We have them advocating US citizens to vote a certain way. We had them using their titles to lobby United States senators. We have them interfering with United States legislation with regards to family leave pay, gender issues, racial issues, etc. And my dears, it is not what they are lobbying for, but the fact that they are doing it at all while still holding British royal titles. As a United States citizen, Meghan Markle can write to her senator, but she can do so as Ms. Meghan Markle and should not do so as the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, nor should she do so while bearing the title, as it is unconstitutional in both the United States and the United Kingdom. Yes, my dear friends, in Britain, the Glorious Revolution of 1688 led to a constitutional monarchy restricted by laws such as the Bill of Rights 1689, and the British monarchy stopped having any influence or power in the United States in 1776. And I think it is time, one and all, citizens, politicians, and royalty, be reminded of this, as I, for one, do not wish to live in a world or have my children and grandchildren to live in a world where absolute monarchies reign with a feudal system in place, which is exactly what will happen if these actions of the Harkles, Prince Charles, and certain elites are allowed to continue uncontested. We are already seeing how Harry, a British prince, who is apparently not an American citizen yet, and who apparently has no intention of becoming an American citizen or to even apply for dual citizenship, the same Prince Harry who called the First Amendment of the United States Constitution bonkers. Yes, we are now even seeing that Prince Harry being invited to the Intrepid Museum for the 2021 Salute to Freedom Gala, where he, Prince Harry, presented the inaugural Intrepid Valor Awards to 5 service members. Really? What on earth does an award for a US service member have to do with a British prince who rocked up wearing British medals, of which most were honorary medals awarded to him by his grandmother, the Queen of England? Has the world gone insane? To top it all, the British anthem was sung at an American military awards ceremony. I'm sorry, guys. I just don't get it. Yes, apparently the majority of attendees refused to applaud them, even though they were instructed to do so by a neon sign. Yes, apparently Harry was heckled a little, and one veteran had to be restrained when he told Harry to go home. But I guess my question is, if these people felt so strongly, why did they attend at all? And why did the museum not choose one of their own? There are currently 76 military veterans in the United States House of Representatives 117th Congress. Any of them would have been better suited than a British prince. Okay, guys, enough. At least enough for now. It is clear that in order to keep the status quo of at least two countries' constitutions, either Henry should have his titles stripped forthwith, or the United States should no longer allow him and his wife to use any of their titles in public, at events, or in writing. And the United States can do so by just calling on its own constitution and on the Treaty of Paris 1783. Okay, friends, that was indeed a mouthful, and I still have a mouthful to say. So, for the rest of this week, I'll be on daily bringing you research, but piece by piece, and a few really juicy bits of gossip I have been privy to over the last few days. So until I see you on the next one, thank you for your support and friendship. Take good care of yourselves. Bye.